In this video, we're going to be doing an oil change in this 2005 Honda Element. This is going to be the same process for 2003 through 2011. The oil filter itself will be easily accessed through the passenger side wheel well. So we're going to take our dipstick out. We're going to set that aside. And we're going to take our engine oil cap off and set that aside as well. To remove our wheel, it's going to be a 19mm socket. I'll take our wheel off now. So now we're underneath the vehicle with our oil catch can set underneath the oil pan. With a 17mm socket, we are going to take out our drain plug in our oil pan. Now that we've drained our oil, we can go ahead and put our oil plug back in.
Now we're going to torque down the oil drain plug to 33 foot-pounds.
So our oil filter is right here. Typically, you should be able to grab a hold of it and spin it off, but after it's been on a while, that might not be the case, and it might be a little greasy. So what we have is just a pair of oil filter clamps here. I'm going to see if we can start this to spin. And again, there's going to be some oil in here. It's almost a horizontal orientation, so there's going to be a whole bunch of oil. There's going to be some drippage. You want to have an oil pan or some kind of spill protection down. All right, once we get this oil filter off, we're going to put it right into our spill container. There's your old filter. Now, before we put our new oil filter on, we're going to clean the surface that our new oil filter mounts up to. Just going to give that a clean with some brake cleaner. If there's any debris or anything left on the surface, now's the time you want to get that off. So our new oil filter sits at a horizontal angle. So we want to prime this filter, but we do not want to fill it. So what we're going to do is pour a good amount in. We're going to let the filter absorb that oil. And when we're ready, we're going to take a little bit of the oil from the top and run it around this gasket here. So now we're ready to put our oil filter in. Now, because we're working with oil, things might be a little slick. What I like to do is wipe down the back of the oil filter with some brake clean. Get that nice and clean. Give it a little second to dry off. And then come back, go ahead and grab your oil filter, and as tight as you can get it by hand, tighten that up. Once you've done that, you're all done. We're going to put our funnel in place. And start our oil pour. This vehicle is going to call for 4.5 quarts. That's including whatever you put into your oil filter. And that's 4.5 quarts. So we're going to remove our funnel. We can cap off our oil fill. Again, if you have any loose debris or anything around this area, make sure it doesn't fall in. And before you put your cap on, wipe that clean. And the last step to this is going to be putting our dipstick back in and checking our oil level. I'm going to clean off our dipstick. You'll notice on your dipstick you have 2 O-rings. You're going to want to seat your dipstick all the way down until not the first, but the second O-ring. Make sure it's fully seated. Go ahead and pull that out. I like to do this 2 or 3 times. The first time I pull it out, I won't even look. Just clean it right off, send it right back in. And I will check this one. And what we're looking for here is our oil level to be between these 2 dots. Here's your low add oil, here is your high too much oil. You want to be between the 2. You can see our levels right about here, so we're right where we want to be. If you haven't added enough oil, this is when you'd want to re-add oil until you're between these 2 lines. Once you're done, go ahead and reinstall your dipstick. So now at this point, you've checked your oil, you've added the recommended amount. What you want to do is start and run your engine. You want to get it up to operating temperature, then shut it off, let it cool down. You want to come back out and recheck your oil. Make sure that oil circulated through the system and you found your new level. If that new level is low, go ahead and add some between the 2 lines that we were looking at. If your level is between the 2 lines, you're good. So now we can install our wheel. Sometimes when I'm having an issue centering or getting the wheel on nice and flat, I like to do a top nice and tight, push in, do a bottom nice and tight, and then rock back and forth till I get those 2 nice and tight. And that usually helps me get a wheel nice and flat. All right, now we can do the other ones. Come in here with our 19 millimeter. Just snug these up. All right, now to torque these down, we're going to have to put the vehicle on the ground so the wheel doesn't spin. Now that our vehicle's on the ground, we're going to torque our lug nuts down to 80 foot-pounds. We're going to do it in a crisscross pattern. And then sometimes, if you really feel the need to, you can run around a second time just to make sure. And that's it.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.